listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're in our last segment this morning. We're broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. Time now to hear from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. This MHA Minute is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need an exterminator, you need someone reliable and effective. Give Greg Keener a call at Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. Pest Control Services is a proud member of Angie's List and a member of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. That's Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. And tell Greg that Gene and Tony sent you.
If you're renting out a property for the first time, there's a lot you need to know so that you can do it successfully and, frankly, keep yourself out of trouble. Luckily, there's a statewide resource with all the tools you need to run your new business successfully. In fact, the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association regularly holds a seminar called Accidental Landlord, specifically designed for people who are renting out a property for the first time. They also have residential leases, security deposit agreements, a lead disclosure, and lots of other forms. They even have brochures on the principles of successful property management and the eviction process that you can download for free. So if you want to know more about the Accidental Landlord Seminar or other classes about owning, managing, or maintaining anything from a single unit to a growing apartment portfolio, visit the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association's website, mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com.
So it looks like we have time for maybe one more story.
One more story, and this one is coming from the Phoenix Business Journal about a week ago. And it's talking about Arizona Governor Jan Brewer, who recently rejected and vetoed a bill that would have created an information clearinghouse of data on homeowner associations in the state of Arizona.
Okay, and what did the bill say? Or what was the bill asking for?
Specifically, this is House Bill 2764 that would have required homeowner associations to register and submit information to the Arizona Secretary of State's office. And the governor said, I don't think this is really necessary. Number one, she said it is, she said a duplication because in the county where an association resides, that information, much of that information is already given.
It's already required to be
required there.
And we in Minnesota, too, we talked about that the last segment. Usually, I think all the time, always, your declaration of covenants and restrictions has to be filed with the county. So that's true in Minnesota.
Yeah, a lot of developers just give the whole governing documents.
Give all of it to the county?
To the county, so that you have a I guess a certified complete set
Gotcha.
At that level. The governor also said it would put an undue burden on the State Department because now we're going to need more people to put this information together, to watch this information. And I applaud her for recognizing and understanding that. But number one, to me, it does seem like an unnecessary thing.
What information was it asking
for? Well,
here
in House Bill 2764, it says beginning January 1st, 2013, the association would have had to register with the Secretary of State pursuant to Section 41 so-and-so, and provide the Secretary of State with the following information. All of the information previously required to be recorded as prescribed by the subsection. Number one, the number of units in the condominium association.
Okay.
Number two, the cross streets for the location of the homeowners association. And number three, the year that the condominium association was established.
Okay.
Now, this is additional information. It seems innocuous, perhaps. What's the big deal to know how many units there are, basically what the cross streets are? Because what have they been recording up to this time? Well, they've recorded a copy of the governing documents with the county records, because that's
right.
where the tax records are kept. So
that already says probably how many units are in the condominium and the year the condominium was established.
You could get that information, you're right, if you went through the governing documents. But here, what makes this curiouser and curiouser for me is that why is it that you have to have now one clearinghouse for all this information? All we're talking about is making it easier for someone.
For someone to get that
to
information.
get this information.
Now, to me, on the surface anyway, I don't see how this benefits homeowners in a homeowners association to have this additional clearinghouse or location, repository for this information. Do you think it benefits the owners?
None at all. I can't see that at all. To me, I am concerned. I'm glad that the governor vetoed it. But, I mean, if now you have this additional information that's on one website, the Secretary of State's office, and someone can easily get this information instead of having to go to county office to county office to county office to get this. Now you have, who would benefit from this? Well,
who do you think is behind this bill, Gene?
I think there are a lot of vendors who serve the HOA industry that would certainly benefit from this, because now a contractor can say, how about all the storm chasers in the world? And they say, oh, you know what? Let's just go through this clearinghouse and, I like the idea of replacing 150 roofs over here as opposed to 14 roofs over there. And, let's look at this information. This association's been around for 25, 30 years. I bet you there's more deferred maintenance there than this one that is 2 or 3 years old.
They probably need new siding and a new roof and new concrete.
Yeah, this is not giving any information or benefits the HOA industry at all. As a matter of fact, it said that in here that the state would be able to require additional money or taxes for the startup of this. So I don't know.
So it actually maybe harm associations if they have to pay additional fees for this.
Well, yes. I mean, to me, it seems like double taxation. Number one, every corporation already in the United States has to file and incorporate in the state where they're located.
Okay,
so
and there's a fee associated.
There's a fee associated with that. There's a yearly fee to keep registered. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So and you need that for the purpose of legal issues. If someone wants to
contact
sue someone that is an entity like an association, you need to know who to address it to, where to go, so it gives you that information. So that's already there. The state already has a list of all homeowner associations by address and contact information, but it's all listed with with all the other corporations.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you've got the county that has that information on the governing documents that are listed.
So we see this as just being a mailing list, so to speak, for vendors and contractors to make it easier for them to market to homeowners associations. Now, I could make the argument, Gene, that would be beneficial to homeowners associations.
I'm interested. How?
If they could, if it was easier for contractors to get a hold of them, they might find it easier to get competing bids for work done. They might find it easier to find a better supplier of some service. And now to put on my other hat, the hat of a property manager, I'd love it because it would be much easier for me to market my services to homeowners associations if I could easily get addresses.
Yes. To me, it really does seem unnecessary. I mean, with the free market system that we have, people are able to market themselves and their service, and part of that is being able to go out and to get that information. As a company ourselves, we try to get to a point where you're upstream from others to be able to get contacts and to be able to do proposals and to be able to give that information. That's a part of business. Here we have people that want to circumvent that and say we want to make it the government's chore to make it a lot easier for us
to compile these mailing lists for us.
Compile these lists, and I can see the list. How about all of the contact information? How about the unending phone calls? How about all the emails that get
Most
sent
people,
that are junk email?
Contrary to what I said, most people will not appreciate the increased junk mail, the increased telemarketing calls, whatever.
But to me, it is at best a veiled attempt at just trying to get the state involved in organizing and making business a little bit easier for a few
I've heard
others
people talk about it in the
state.
state of Minnesota, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to Governor Brewer, I think anyway, for vetoing that bill. Well, hey, this is all the time we've got for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Memorial weekend. We look forward to having you next week, next Saturday, right here on Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
How sweet it is to be loved by